Hi Gemini, welcome. This is Taurus Tarot and I'm Joy and we are getting a read for you. So I start off every reading with a little meditation. I ask Spirit to come in and make clear the messages that need to be heard for you, yeah, for your particular sign, which we're doing Gemini, so this is for you. And so some things that were coming in with the pre-shuffle was, or in my meditation first, was this image of a cloud, and it came up as cauliflower at first, and I was like, cauliflower, but then it became clear that it was a cloud, you know. And so what was coming through was that, like, sort of like a head in the clouds sort of kind of thing, but I think that has a lot of negative connotation. It was more so like, you know, you have all of these great ideas, all of these great thoughts, but they tend to remain out there in the ethers, right? Like out, you know, at some, you know, space beyond or something like that. And that the challenge for you is to really be able to bring it down to earth and ground it, you know, and be able to really, like, be able to put those ideas into action so that they not only just exist up there in the, you know, ethers as you know, just continue to exist as a thought, but that you can bring it down so that it can exist in reality, right? Yeah, so that's what was kind of coming through for you. I mean, this is a real challenge for everyone. I mean, this is really could be a message for everyone, right? I think, I mean, how often do we have really great ideas and, you know, we're not completely able to manifest them in our 3D reality, right? And that's for many different reasons. And sometimes it's a self-confidence reason. Sometimes, you know, you can have a great idea, but if you do not feel confident in yourself and your ability to make it happen, you know, you don't capitalize on that energy of, like, feeling excited and passionate about some, you know, great idea that you have. You know, it's something that I've always said in, you know, working with children, is that I would notice how parents would have this tendency. So I worked in a preschool, then I worked with children from low socioeconomic status, right? You know, either they were poor, or you know, were not educated, or the parents were not educated, or, you know, stuff like that, right? So low SES, low socioeconomic status. Although I want to rethink all those terms, but that's another story. Anyway, and then I worked with children with developmental disabilities, and so it was interesting to see all different kinds of parents and all different kinds of children, and it was interesting to see how often parents put, like, education and intelligence at the forefront, right? And even at the cost of all other things, like, you know, being a good person, or you know, uh, um, being confident and knowing that you're loved, and knowing that you're supported, you know. Those were not in the foreground for most parents. Most parents were very concerned about their intelligence and you know, and their intellectual development, and got very concerned about, you know, meeting developmental milestones on time or even beyond, you know. So there was a lot of emphasis in that. And I think, you know, and those, I think, tend to be the ones who really push college down their children's throats as they get older, um, and really develop these children who feel like they're supposed to do that, right? They're supposed to do well in school so that they can gain the favor of their parents, or or so that they can go to a college, which is what their parents want them to do. And that was always very interesting. And so my point of it really was that what I came to really realize was that it didn't matter how smart or not a child was. And right, because smart, there's all kinds of different intelligences, yeah, but I'm talking like in book smarts, that kind of thing. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your child learns arithmetic at age 4 instead of age 7, or it that really doesn't matter. It does, but it does not matter more than developing a child who knows that they are loved and supported, and feels like they are loved and supported, and feels like they can accomplish anything regardless of whatever label or status or whatever is put onto them. They feel like they can accomplish anything because their parents have instilled that in them, have instilled the idea in them that they are divine beings as well, and that they also already hold the knowledge that they need in order to make their dreams come true, and in order to be successful, right? And that they can actually define success on their terms, and not on their parents' terms, and not on the terms that society places on them. So, and I would always say that it doesn't matter how smart your kid is. If they do not feel good about themselves, that smartness, right, goes to complete waste, right? Because if they don't feel good about themselves, they're never going to do anything with that knowledge, with that smarts, yeah? And I'm being a little bit dramatic here because, there's, of course, you have to really weigh that out and balance it. But, but the important thing is that really that, we love our children, and we nurture and care for them, and we encourage them to find the things that are important to them, and encourage them to learn the things that are important to them, and do the things that are important to them, and not the things that are important to me, or to someone in society, someone else in society, or what. For we encourage them to really listen to their inner voices, and help them to understand that they already have all of the tools that they need, and that they just need to tap into it. Okay, so I'm sorry I went off on a tangent a little bit there, but that is kind of what I was guided to say. I don't know, it just kind of started flowing out. So, but for you, so I'm feeling like those things that, those ideas, those great ideas that you have that are kind of out there in the ethers, you have to bring them down and ground them in your reality. And part of that for you is really about believing in yourself and having confidence in yourself that you can accomplish those things that come to you, those great ideas that come to you, okay? And so here it is. I mean, really, this self-love, to me, love encompasses all of those things, right? Feeling good about yourself, believing in yourself. That's all loving yourself, right? That's all about love. And this is definitely a card about self-love. This card is really about you having enough love for yourself that only when it begins to overflow, then you can share it with others. But if your cup is empty, you can't really be sharing that love with anybody else, because you're not even giving enough of it to yourself, okay? And so the key factor in you bringing those ideas down and making them happen and grounding them in reality is learning how to love yourself first, okay? And putting yourself first, right? Just like on the airplane, you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you can put it on your children, because if you pass out, how are you going to help your children? Okay? And I feel here that there's you're holding on to some kind of loss, and I just heard okay, so not like a betrayal, but like I think really what it is a lack of trust in yourself was communicated somehow, and from someone outside yourself. And it could be parents, it could be a partner who was not the nicest person, it could be a teacher, a sibling, whatever. But there was definitely a message that was communicated to you that you weren't good enough. That's what it was. A message was communicated to you that you weren't good enough, and you've been in this almost like this grieving stage about it, that of always feeling not good enough, and it has caused you to lose yourself. It has caused you to lose yourself. It's like, I feel like this person here is grieving this this energy that you once had. This is you grieving this energy and zest for life, and and passion that you once had and that you no longer have, because of messages that you received that you were not good enough, that who you are was not good enough. And you've been holding on to this. And it has been affecting your your physical reality in a lot of ways. Definitely, it's been and I just heard subtle, these like little subtle ways that it's affecting your like where you are in your reality right now, in these very little subtle ways that kind of creep in without you knowing, and then suddenly they've like infiltrated your mind. Yeah, so that's kind of like what this is really feeling like. It's really strange. It's like you didn't see it happening and suddenly you're there, right? Like you didn't know you were on the road driving and suddenly you're there, kind of thing. So it's like these thoughts in your subconscious of not being good enough have creeped in, and because you didn't deal with them, they're creeping into your your how you manifest yourself, if that makes sense. Okay. And the message really is to like take a break, do some meditation, go within. No pressure, right? No pressure though. Like this is more like, this is not the hermit, go inside and find your light kind of thing. This is like, take a break from all the pressures that you've been putting on yourself. Take a break from from work or from responsibilities or whatever obligations you feel you have. Take a break from all of that. Put that all on the side and give to yourself. Yeah, give to yourself. Like stop giving all of your energy away into things that in the end don't really matter, and take a break from all of that and bring the focus back to yourself. That's what this card is really saying. Bring the focus back to yourself so that you can bring this back into your life. This self-love that is really going to be the single most important thing for you to master in order to take all of these great ideas you have and manifest them in your physical reality. Okay. and make you just make you enjoy life more and feel better about yourself, and embrace your divinity, okay? And move you away from holding on to these feelings of loss or regret or sadness or whatever it is that has creeped into your life and suddenly taken over. Okay? Okay, Gemini, that is what it is. I hope that, it makes some sort of sense to you. Yeah, and definitely, like, take a break and eliminate the distractions in your life and eliminate some of the obligations you feel you have, and kind of just create some simplicity in your life so that you can get back to yourself, back to who you are. Okay? All right. Okay, so have a wonderful day. Aloha and Namaste. And by the way, Namaste means the divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you. Okay? Namaste.